Jim Norton is not a doctor. He's not an expert. He's not even a good person. The views, opinions, advice, and humor of Jim Norton does not reflect those of any doctor, of SiriusXM, of Opie Radio, or anyone else. They are solely those of Jim Norton, Lyle Chipperson, Edgar Mellencamp, Paul Hargis, and whoever else lives in that chinless head of his. If any of this advice goes wrong, you are the asshole who called a comedian instead of a doctor.
An icon in comedy, a fighter for freedoms, an accomplished entertainer, and a pervert. You've got problems, he's got problems. You've got questions, he's got answers, some of which are good. Call now, 866-WOW-1-WOW. That's 866-969-1969. This is the Jim Norton Show.
Good evening. I can hear an echo in my head. There we go. It's now gone. Thank you for tuning in. Those of you that have. I'm staring into my kitchen. I'm still going through this thing trying to get a mortgage. So that's why I've been freaked out for like a week and a half, 2 weeks. And my accountant keeps telling me it's going to be fine. It's going to work out. But it's just about the building that I'm going to move to is in litigation, like a lot of buildings are. You know, it's pretty common here in New York. And banks have gotten so conservative, like my financials are fine. Like they're okay, they're comfortable. They see I pay my bills and I pay my mortgage. I paid it off. But they're afraid to lend into certain buildings because, so I've been dealing with this, it's like this whole financial insecurity thing has been freaking me out for like the last week. So I've been very, very out of sorts for, I guess the last week or so. And on a lighter note, I was sitting on my sofa before jerking off and the window washers came down. So that was fairly humiliating. I was brushing up on Mia Isabella's fine films for tomorrow. She's coming in as a guest. And so I was brushing up on her films. And all right, let's see. We got a bunch of people already on the line. Bryce from Dallas. Hello, Bryce.
Hey, Jim. Love you. I'm a big fan.
Thank you so much.
Hey, one of my favorite segments on the show is when those MMA fighters come in and hurt you. Your reaction is so funny. I was wondering, like, who hurt you the most and who was the most intimidating in person?
I would say the one that hurt me the most was probably John Jones.
Oh, it's a great one.
Yeah, I would say that one because he choked me once hard, and that knee was by far the most painful. And none of them, believe it or not, none of them have been intimidating.
Oh, really?
And I'll tell you why. It's only because they're all such nice guys. Like, It's not because they couldn't be intimidating. It's because none of them try to give that vibe off. They all come in like, boxers, to be really honest, are better shit talkers. And professional wrestlers are better on a mic than MMA guys, because MMA guys are like, they think like martial artists. My opponent's very skilled. I just want to do the best I can. So they're all kind of very gentle when they come in. But if I had to pick one, I'd probably say Brock Lesnar. But it was only because he had been so hard to get in studio and he did very little press. So it was more situationally intimidating than him. He turned out to be great.
He wasn't a dick in person?
No, he was actually really nice.
Oh, wow.
He laughed and he had fun with us. And most of those guys, if you're trying to help them promote, and once they're on your show, most of those guys are great.
Oh, cool, man.
Okay?
Hey, I appreciate you being really cool to your fans. I met you after a show in Dallas, and you were awesome, so I really appreciate it.
Oh, thanks, man. Yeah, well, you know what? The people I love the most have always been nice to me. And again, that's another MMA thing. The UFC, Dana, and those guys always treat fans right. So I can't see ever a reason to be shitty to fans.
No, you were awesome. Me and my friends loved you, and we talk about it all the time. Anytime you come back to Texas, I'll be there.
Thank you, pal. Take care.
Yeah, you too.
All right, let's see. Eddie in West Haven. I went to get a flu shot yesterday, but there was a long line, so I better go when I get back. What's up, buddy?
Hey, Jimmy.
How are you?
Listen, how do you feel about the flu shot? My buddy had a flu shot yesterday, and this morning he drives his car off the road. He passes out at the wheel, and he said he had a reaction.
I've never heard that before. It may be true, but I have never heard that before.
Well, if anyone else, can they call in? Because it's crazy. Have you had the shot?
No, like I said, I was going to get it yesterday, but there was a line, so I'll get it in the next week or so.
Don't get it, dude. Don't get it. You don't need it.
I do need it because my immune system is busy dealing with all of the sexual things I do. So I like to give it a little boost.
You're a big boy. You don't need it.
Being a big boy, sir, I also live in New York, and you have to realize I'm on the subway every day, and I'm in close proximity with a tremendous cross-section of people every day. You know, I mean, not everyone throughout the country. You guys all interact with people. I'm not implying you don't. But in the city, there's a certain level of closeness that you experience. And I have to fly tomorrow, and I have to fly. So the flu shot, I've always found, dude, has been helpful to me, so I'm going to get it. But I appreciate it. And if anybody knows anything, call in and try to help Eddie. Thank you, Eddie.
All right, buddy.
Take care. Well, let's see here. Chris in Michigan. What's up, Chris?
Hey, Jim. I've been listening to your show since you started, and I want to thank you. I'm 43 days sober today.
Oh, that's
you know,
great,
just listening to you, and you know, I've heard callers say, well, and I never really, I knew I kind of had a problem, but maybe not. But you know, I heard callers say, well, so and so drinks every day, but it doesn't affect his job, and it's every night. And what do you think? And you're like, yeah, they probably have a problem if they're doing it every single day, and that's where I was, you know. And so now I'm 43 days sober, and I'm looking forward to being 90, and then maybe, you know, a whole year or whatever, but it's changed a lot of things in my life. You know, I've got a little more spending money, and my relationships are a lot better, and just listening to you and telling everybody else what's going on and giving them advice, you know, it's really helped.
Well, thanks, man. I'm really happy to hear that. You know, it's like getting sober. It doesn't make life amazing. Like, it doesn't change a lot of circumstances. There's plenty of things that still suck about life and still go wrong. But, and believe me, I'm a mess half the time. But I do have an ability. They say deal with life on life's terms. Like, whatever happens, you have to deal with it, and as opposed to hiding from it. So I think that's one of the great things that being sober has done for me. Even though I got sober I was very, very lucky. But I was a fucking loser, man. I was a fucking high school dropout. I waited till I was 19 to get my license. I had nothing. I had no self-esteem. Just a stupid pipe dream. And had I not, I think gotten sober, it changed the course of my life. So good for you, man. I'm happy you did it, okay?
All right, thanks, buddy.
Take care, man. Good luck. Let's see. Ryan in Ohio. What's up, buddy?
What's happening, Jimmy?
Hey, man.
Hey, so over the last couple months or so, Voss just sounds like, I mean, you can't hardly understand him anymore. Is he getting, like, teeth work done or something?
No, I wish he was by someone's fist. But no, I'll tell you, I think what it might be with Voss. Rich is addicted to nicotine gum still. Like, he leaves it in his mouth while he eats. So I think what happens is sometimes I'm talking to him, and you'll see in between his cheek and gum is a piece of fucking nicotine gum. So I think sometimes that falls down and makes his speech a little worse than it should be. So that's the only thing I can think of. All right?
Gotcha. All right, man. Have a good one.
Okay, take care. Let's see here. Daniel in California, coworker at a flu shot. What's up, man?
Hey, what's going on, Jim? Thanks for
buddy.
taking the call, man.
Sure.
Yeah, I just wanted to bring up that I had a subordinate of mine. He got a flu shot the next day, got in a car wreck, and we couldn't really figure out any good reason for it. You know, we were thinking, well, maybe he got dehydrated during that day, but he's a fit kid. You know, he works out, he does all the things he's supposed to do, and the only thing that we could come up with was when you said it on the air, I was like, flu shot. You know, maybe that was it.
It's possible.
I got it. I didn't have any problems, but sometimes people just have those freak reactions.
Yeah, I've never had a problem either, but I'm certainly going to get it this year because I don't, I just don't want to get the flu. And again, it's not a guarantee that you won't, but it definitely helps.
Yeah,
So,
well, my wife is convinced that it gives you the flu. And I'm like, listen, that's your body fighting antibodies that are already dead or not activated. The flu mist, yeah, that's got the live flu virus in it, but I don't think you can get the flu from a flu shot. And she's like, well, we got a little baby at home, too. And I'm like, you got to get it. You need it. It's your duty as a parent. And I don't know if that brings up another good question is, should parents have to get a flu shot irregardless?
No, you can't make, I don't think you can't make people get a flu shot. I don't think you can make people. I do think that it might, I don't know medically what this would, does it actually put a little flu in you and then your body builds up antibodies and fights it? I think that's how it works, but I could be wrong. And it's not 100% guaranteed. There's different strains. They do the best they can to get the strains that they think are going to be the big ones. And it just cuts down on it. Like, it's not a guarantee you're going to live happily ever after, but
Now, if they're saying, if they're saying like, okay, well, maybe 4% of the population has a negative reaction to it, but it prevents a great majority of the population from getting the flu, is it more of a civic duty then to help out the majority of the population by getting the flu shot, preventing it from spreading?
It can't be mandatory, but I do think that it, someone is calling up, giving us the advice. You know what? I'm going to cut you off, Daniel, because we actually have another bit of advice who will probably answer your question and mine. Oh, sorry. Thanks, Daniel. Medic in New York, what's up?
Hey, Jimmy.
Hey, buddy.
Listen, first off, healthcare professionals all over the country are mandated to get the flu shot. If they don't get the flu shot, they have to wear a mask in all patient care environments.
Okay.
The flu shot does not give you the flu, but the flu shot does not cover every strain of the flu out there.
Right.
It covers the most common strain of the flu that year that's predicted.
Okay.
If you do get the flu when you have the flu shot, instead of the flu kicking your ass for 7 to 10 days, it kicks your ass for 3 to 5 days.
So it does help either way. Even if it's not a guarantee, it helps.
Yes, absolutely. Now, as far as weird reactions, when you have an allergic reaction or some type of medication reaction, it doesn't happen 24 hours later. It happens, maybe 2 hours later.
Right.
You're not going to get the flu shot today and then pass out tomorrow from the flu shot.
Yeah, that didn't make sense to me either. Who knows? Yeah, maybe these guys were already getting sick and then they got the flu shot and who knows? But yeah, that doesn't make sense. What you just said makes sense.
It's a distinct possibility. If you get the flu shot during flu season, they try to get it to you before flu season starts, but flu season changes each year. It starts a little earlier and earlier every year.
When's it starting this year?
So flu season's already started.
No.
Shots, but for the most part, it's the early part of the season.
All right, I gotta jump, buddy. Thank you very much. A lot of flu talk today, so I don't want to get it. Oh God, having the flu, I'd hate to be laid up. All right, thanks, man. Let's see, Mike in Connecticut. What's up, Mike?
How's it been, Jimmy?
Hey, I'm good, buddy. How are you?
I'm all right. Well, basically, I'm going through a bad breakup right now. And
How long have you been with her?
Yeah, I've heard you talk about it in the past, and I just want to know, what steps do you take to not just immediately want to destroy yourself? Because that's, the first thing that comes to my mind. I want to just get as fucked up as I can, and just, you're not productive, none of it.
Wait, how long you been with the girl?
About 2 years.
Okay, and the relationship was obviously suffering?
No, it was great. She's doing her own personal stuff with schooling and work, and she doesn't have a lot of time, and she feels like she can't offer a lot to the relationship, so it's kind of making her depressed that she wants to give it a break very much.
Okay, but why do you want to hurt yourself because of that? I know it sucks.
It sucks because it was more of a blind side, and my first reaction is always just to I don't know, go off the rails. You feel bad for yourself, and you go off the rails.
Well, a lot of
times.
Make sense? Yeah, totally, dude. Of course. A lot of times when negative things happen, which happens to me a lot in the business, I'll do something, you do a project and it doesn't get picked up, or you audition and you don't get it. Anything negative is a confirmation of what I already think about myself, which is that I'm shit and I'm garbage. So when something happens, I'm like, you see, you fucking piece of shit. It's exactly like you knew it was. And it just becomes an excuse to punish myself or to be mean to myself or to hate myself more. But there's also the thought when something good happens, a lot of times I think that's just a fluke and I don't know how to enjoy it. So it's almost like I've set myself up to be in a position where I'm always going to feel bad about myself. And that's a really, really bad place to be.
No, I feel you. It sounds very similar.
Yeah. So, just don't punish yourself. That's all.
All right. Thanks.
Okay. All right, buddy. Breakups happen, dude. They stink. Let's see. Jeff in Long Island. What's up, Jeff?
What's up, Jim?
How are you?
How you doing? This Saturday I got a wedding, and my best friend asked me to be the best man, and I'm having trouble with the speech.
Why?
And I don't know. I don't know if I should roast him or just go and just be the regular do the regular thing, like look up all these lovey-dovey quotes. And she's from the South and he's from New York, so I don't know how these people from the South are going to react. if I go, all out and roast them and curse and stuff.
Well, then what you ought to do is be prepared for both. You know what I mean? I think I have, I think you have to be ready to do both. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, there's been plenty of moments where you're not sure what the vibe is going to be. So be ready to do a little bit of roasting. And if you see like a joke or two not working, then just go into the other one. You don't have to commit 100% to either one until you're there.
Uh-huh.
Or you can mix and match it a little bit. Do a roast joke and then say something sincere and nice, and people will, oh, okay, and then go back and, roast them and then be, you can mix it up a little bit so it doesn't become a one-note thing.
All right.
Okay?
You think I should use cards or try to memorize it?
Nah, use cards. Have some cards here. Why not? It's not Congress. I mean, the president uses you could have cards, dude, and just little notes to tip yourself when you need to.
All right.
Okay?
All right, man, thanks.
All right, be good. What's up, Jordan, Oklahoma? Question about me and E-Rock. Uh-oh.
Yeah, what happened between you two? I saw you, I'm a stalker, but what happened with you? You unfollowed him on Twitter, or he did with you?
E-Rock?
Yeah.
Not at all. Why?
No, I was just wondering. I just saw that.
I don't know what you're talking about.
So there's no issues between you two?
Between me and Eric Nagel?
Yeah.
No.
Oh, that's good.
I have no idea what you mean, sir.
I just had to ask.
Yeah, why did you think that on E-Rock and I had an issue? You're not making sense, you silly goose.
I mean, like on Twitter. Like I saw y'all were, one of y'all unfollowed each other or whatever. So.
Oh, because we put, I sent out a photo of a fat guy and I went, oh, E-Rock, and he sent back Gollum. So I retweeted it. I thought it was very funny.
Oh, okay.
Okay, what's your question about your alcoholism?
I'm 21 years old. I've been dealing with the same stuff probably you did around my age. I don't know how to deal with it. I know it's affecting everyone in my family. And I've been to rehab. I'm about to re-enter an inpatient, but I just don't know how to deal with this. Well, you just answered your own question. You're going to enter a rehab. That's great. So it's like that's how you start. Enter a rehab, and you know what I mean. And then get yourself to dry out for 30 days, and that's a great step, dude. That's a really good. That's the way you start, is to get into rehab. A lot of people are not able to do that, so just feel lucky that you are. And you've been before, but it doesn't always take the first time. Now you have another shot at it. You're still alive. You're not in jail. You haven't run over a fucking 9-year-old. So you still have a shot at it. So just feel grateful that things are getting bad, but you haven't totally blown it yet. Yeah, I'm still trying, but I mean, it's just over and over with me, with my mom and my family and everything. It's hard. Just sick of it. Yeah, it's definitely hard, man. But, I promise you, the other side of it is really good. It's not perfect, but the other side of where you are right now, which is when you eventually clean up and you start to live that, the other way, a sober way, it's a lot better way to live. So just give it some time and be patient and have faith that it's going to get a little bit better. But right now, you're just in the end part of it where it's like it's still kind of sucky. But realize that rehab is going to be a great beginning. Well, I know. It did help me, but I just went back into the same shit. All right. Again. Well, you won't do that this time. Change what you did last time. Whatever you did wrong, change it this time. Maybe you didn't build a good enough foundation, or maybe you fucking weren't vigilant, or, they say you keep, if you forget to remember, you're doomed to repeat, all those old fucking, 100-year-old expressions. So just don't make the same mistakes you made last time. Whatever you did wrong last time, don't do it wrong this time. That's all. Yeah, I'll try, but I mean, that's all you can do is try. You're already shooting yourself in the foot like you're gonna fuck up. Just don't think that way. Just for one day, don't fuck up. That's why they say a day at a time and not a lifetime at a time. I can't picture the rest of my fucking life. You know what I mean? Just like today, I cannot fuck up. That's how I look at it. Yeah, well, I mean, it's just one day at a time, and I don't know. I'll try. I will try. And that's all you can do. And if you try, and you genuinely try, then you will be successful. That's awkward, but thank you. All right, buddy. It's amazing. That's amazing. I'm talking to you. That's all right. Just go to rehab, and you'll see, man. Things will get better. Thank you. All right, fella. Take care. Let's see. Mark in Ohio. Some guy started yelling at your wife.
Jimmy. All right. Quick story. My wife goes to the grocery store. She got our 5-year-old with her. They go literally, it's right in the door. They got the cart. My kid's just standing on the side of the cart. It's not moving. Guy just walks up to my wife and says, if that tips over, you could sue, but they're not going to give you any money. She turns around, and the guy's right in her personal space, and she goes, are you talking to me? And he goes, yeah, you're a little shit. Hanging on the side of the cart. You see that sign in there? That's for fucking illiterates like you. Just from out of nowhere. She's in shock. She goes to the manager. The manager goes with her around the store to find the guy, and then they do nothing. The manager sort of says something to the guy, and then he goes off on a fucking tirade again. I'm not apologizing for nothing. She's fucking this, so on and so forth. And he leaves, and nobody does nothing. And I'm furious because my kid's telling her to call me because we live right around the corner. I could have been there in like 5 minutes.
Right.
And I just want to know, because of all the shit you've gone through in terms of customer service stuff, who the fuck do I talk to first? Do I go in and confront these managers? Do I go right to corporate? I mean,
so he worked there. You want to talk to the manager? You want to talk to his boss?
No, he doesn't work there. It's just some dude who walked in.
Well, why? So, and then you were right there when it happened?
No, I wasn't there. It was her and my kid. And this total stranger just walks up and just lights into my wife about nothing. And then she went to the manager because she was totally shocked, like, what the fuck was this? And the manager didn't say anything to this guy. And this guy just lit into her again and then walked out.
Well, you know what? Don't forget, the manager doesn't know who that guy is. The manager's not a security guy. The manager doesn't know if that guy's a mental patient. There's so many shootings lately, dude.
That's what I was thinking, too.
I know it sucks as a husband. Like, you wish you were there to defend your wife. The guy didn't hurt her. He was just a cunt. He's out of her life. He was just a dick in public. So the manager's got to be there all the time and work there. Let's say he gets into it with this guy. It wasn't like the guy was assaulting your wife, and then the guy comes back. Like, let it go. I think you should let it go. What did you want the manager to do? Like, the manager gets into this shit with this guy and then gets punched in the face, and the guy was just yelling?
When you go into a facility, there's a code of conduct.
Yeah.
And if you fuck up with that code of conduct, like, at a gym or whatever like that, you're out.
Yeah.
And I just cannot believe that she didn't say anything about, policy of the facility or whatnot. She just stood there and then turned to my wife and said, "Oh, I'm really sorry. I apologized 100 times." And I was just like, "Are you fucking kidding me?" It's a personal thing because my wife also went through, she was abused when she was a teenager. Right. So she goes into trauma. She goes into real shock when this kind of shit happens. And I was just like, I don't know. I just wanted to ask you because I just had to get it off my chest.
Yeah, no, especially if it was a female manager, too. She doesn't want to confront some crazy guy. Sometimes with crazy people, if you know they're going to leave soon, you let them go. Because he's probably being a jerk off to somebody else somewhere. He's just an asshole, the guy. That's all. He's going to yell at a woman with a 5-year-old. He's a fucking cunt. The guy's a cunt. Just be happy that he wasn't crazier and didn't do anything, that would have been damaging other than just be an asshole and frighten her a little bit or make her uncomfortable.
All right.
Okay?
Hey, I saw your show in Cleveland, but I walked out.
I don't blame you.
No, it was over, so I had to leave.
Oh, you silly goose. Thanks, buddy. Take care.
See ya.
All right. Jordan in Chicago. What's up, Jordan?
I was just wondering when you're going to come back to Chicago and do a show for us.
It looks like February or March. I'm starting up a theater tour, and I believe Chicago is very early on that tour, so I will be back probably around then.
That's great.
All right.
I'll let you get to the other callers, but I just want to say you and Opie have the best show out there, and you guys keep fighting a good fight.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome. All right, later.
Take care. Bye. Let's see here. Ray in Ohio. What's up, buddy?
What's up, Jimmy?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. A situation, I won this trip from work to New Orleans, and wife can't go because her dad's in the hospital, and she keeps suggesting that I go with her hot friend. And what do you think, man? I mean, you think...
That's odd. I don't understand that. Why are you going to New Orleans again?
It's paid. It's paid from work. It's a free trip. I got to compete in some competition for something down there.
Okay.
And it's paid for 2 people. And she can't go because her dad's in the hospital. She's like, well, take this one.
Does she really trust you and trust her friend?
I I would think this is a big test, wouldn't you?
Well, I don't know, because I don't know your wife. I don't know the friend.
Yeah.
Do you want to go? Wouldn't you rather go with a buddy than your wife's friend? Or do you want to fuck your wife's friend?
Jim, anything with a hole in the heartbeat, pretty much you want to fuck, don't you? But it's just kind of weird, and I just was wondering what you'd think about it. You know, because, you know, you're in a hotel, you're down there for 3 days, and...
I don't know, man, because, you know, you don't want to be having an awkward situation with your wife's friend, and she's not going to be as much fun as one of your buddies, dude. Take one of your buddies.
Right.
Have him
Right,
get his own
think.
room. Take one of your fucking friends.
But it's the thing. But it's the thing. There's a thing from work, and they're doing things with the wives. So it's like a woman's got to go. You understand what I'm saying? Like when we're doing something, the women are going to be doing another thing.
Well,
go
she might want her friend to keep an eye on you, dude. That's all.
That could be it too. But you know what happens when alcohol flies? You know, shit happens.
I know.
And New Orleans is a party town.
Yeah, take one of your friends.
All right, man. Hey, I just say, can't wait till you come back to town here. Even though you're not coming to town, Florentine's going to be here Saturday. I'm going to see him.
All right, well, he's great. Enjoy him, okay?
All right, brother.
Cool. Take care. Let's see here. Excuse me. Who's? Oh, yeah, Tom in Canada. Question, the mental health problems.
Hi, how are you, Jimmy?
How are you?
Good, thanks. So, big fan of the show. Listen to you guys every morning. I understand you guys have had quite a significant rash of gun violence in the States, mass shootings. I sort of take issue with the way that you categorize these folks as crazy, nuts in some ways. I think that it does a disservice for others who are struggling with mental illness to hear those types of things. What do you think about that?
Well, people have said that before, but people have to remember that I qualify it with it's obviously not all mentally ill people. Yeah. Like, it's almost like when I talk about, like, even if someone's mentally ill, they see somebody walk into a grammar school and shoot a bunch of children, and I say, God, that's mental illness, and they make it about themselves,
right?
Then that's just their narcissism. Like, I'm not talking about them. I'm not talking about everyone that deals with depression or everyone that has schizophrenia or anyone. I'm not talking about the people who are taking medication and trying hard and, doing the best they can. I'm talking about these fucking, these self-centered, and I can't stress narcissism enough. These broken people who do nothing for themselves. They blame everyone for their problems. You know, they are mentally ill. And I know the gun problem. I'm not going to debate the gun issue. Obviously, it's a problem. But to me, there's some people that say, well, you can't, look past their racism or their anger. Like, yeah, I understand all that shit. But there are a lot of racists that don't go out and shoot people, just like there's a lot of mentally ill people that don't go out and shoot people. But I think that to go out and just kill strangers randomly because you don't have a girlfriend, or to say, are you a Christian, and shoot them, you're mentally ill. Now, the fact is, when black guys shoot each other, they don't get the mental ill thing. But I bet you there's a lot more mental illness in the black community that accounts for those types of shootings. And I'll bet you, but then again, black guys shoot each other in gang fights. Very rarely do black people just walk up to 10 people and shoot them because they don't have a girlfriend. So I think it's very fair to say that those people are probably mentally ill.
Do you think there's certainly a greater level of psychopathy involved with someone who's willing to take that measure, though? That they're severely mentally ill, and then
oh God, yeah, of course,
yeah.
Oh, dude, I'm not talking about moderately. And how many times have I said that I'm fucking my own mental problems and my own? Of course, no one is talking about everyone who's mildly fucked up. You got to be a total psychopath to do that.
Exactly, and I think that because I work for an organization which does peer support, which is basically what we're doing here on the phone right now. You're telling your story. I could tell part of my story, and certainly that's helpful. But stigma associated with it is a big thing too, right? So I would hate to see stigma become a part of the issue, right? Because you're in a reactionary society where now we gotta lock up those people. And that's the blanket statement.
I know what you're saying, but the fear of potential stigma should not interfere with speaking the truth. Meaning, whenever there's an Islamic attack on something, the first thing Obama does, and I'm not politicizing this, maybe Bush would do the same thing. Let's not jump to conclusions like they're afraid that if he says this was an act of Islamic terrorism, that it's going to prejudice people against other Muslims. When the reality is, you got to speak the truth. And then if people become prejudiced towards Muslims, well, then you deal with that and you say that's fucked up. You can't blame all Muslims for that. But I don't think the possibility of hurting mentally ill people's feelings should discourage someone for talking about mental illness when it's a serious problem. And people who don't have that severe a problem should realize that no one is talking about them. And I don't mean them.
For sure.
Okay?
Jimmy, are you coming to Canada anytime soon?
Yes, I will be. I'd love to get back up to Toronto, and I want to get to Calgary. I want to do a Canadian tour. I really do. I don't do enough gigs in Canada, and I always love it when I'm up there.
We love you here too, Jimmy.
Thanks, pal.
Great. Take care.
Okay. Jim in Alabama with a serious issue.
Hey, Jimmy.
How are you?
Hey, I've got a destructive trend that you've talked to before, and recently it's manifested in the name of Lyle Chip Chipperson.
So what's happening? You meeting too many girls or something?
You've been in my life too much, buddy. Through text, I mean, like in normal conversation, the last one recently was, Chip said to my girlfriend, "I want to blow bubbles with your Cuda water."
Fuck yeah!
And she, although I was giggling my butt off and writing this, she was like, "Look, I can't deal with this split personality thing." And I mean, everything's been going great, but it's like I want to be able to just say that to somebody or just goof around on some goofy level, and it's ruining the relationship. And I feel like it's like that Seinfeld thing with the hello. If you can't have that, we can't gel as a couple. The more I look at it from above, I'm starting to think that it's kind of destructive. And you've dealt with that, so I kind of like your take on it, because I feel like if I can't joke around with her as Chip or my own goofy personality, if it's got to be serious all the time, then I can't be with you. And I love her to death.
Right. Well, there's an old expression. If you can't deal with Chip, you got to hit the fucking bricks. That's an old fucking expression.
Well, we got to lock that in, I guess.
I would say that to her. Hey, if you can't deal with Chip, you got to hit the fucking bricks. And you sing it to her like 5 or 6 times so it gets stuck in her head.
Oh, no.
Sir, my advice to you, if you can't deal with Chip, you got to hit the fucking bricks. You got to really, because it doesn't really rhyme, it almost rhymes. And so that will annoy her even more. She must be Chip broken. She's resisting Chip. She loves Chip. She wants to fuck Chip. She will love you if you continue chipping her. That's probably the worst advice. But I can't tell you not to do it, sir, because it's my life.
Yeah. All right. Well, I'll continue texting her #millions, which drives her nuts. She actually talks to Chip. Like, there's no way you bang millions. I'm like, yeah, at a Led Zeppelin concert once.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah. It destroys her. So,
all right, buddy. Enjoy.
I don't know, man.
Good luck.
All right, brother.
Take care,
bye.
man. Let's see here. Jacob in Nevada.
What's up, buddy?
Yes, how are you?
Hey, good. And of course, you get to me when I'm going through some shitty cell reception. That's great.
Okay.
I recently lost a bunch of weight, and one of the great side effects of that, about 160 pounds.
Oh, that's great. Congratulations, man. That's phenomenal.
Yeah. So I'm now the skinniest I've been since like 2002. And my ego has gotten huge, and so has my penis, apparently. Oh. And the other day, me and my wife were having sex, and it was taking forever to come. And then once it started hurting her, dude, it was like I was done. Is that fucking weird or what? Like, the pain got me off.
Wait, her pain or your pain?
Her pain, because I guess I was going too deep.
Well, yeah, I mean, it wasn't that you wanted to hurt your wife. It made you feel more masculine, because you were probably fat, not feeling very good about yourself. Now all of a sudden someone's going, oh my God, your big dick hurts. I mean, yeah, I understand that because it makes you feel powerful. It doesn't mean that you don't love your wife, but who wouldn't want their giant penis to hurt somebody? I mean, I would love my penis to cause a problem.
Yeah, that's why, you seem to be the sex expert. I just thought I would ask you. I'm not usually into that creepy shit, but,
Well, I'm not a sex
good.
expert. I've made a lot of mistakes. I would not call myself an expert by any stretch. All right?
And you should on Tuesday night.
Your phone cut off, buddy. We got to let you go. Thank you very much. Let's see here. Leo in Florida on antidepressants. Hi, Leo.
Hello?
Yes, I'm right here, buddy.
Hi, Jim. Nice talking to you. My name is Gio, by the way.
Hi, Gio. Sorry.
It's okay. So I have this long-time girlfriend for about a year now.
Okay.
I've been on some medications, antidepressants for anxiety, PTSD. I don't know how to break it up, so I don't know how to tell her. It's a little embarrassing, to be honest.
Why?
Well, it's not very acceptable, or it's not like the way people look at someone on antidepressants. It's more like, oh, you might be crazy, or you might have some kind of issues, but I just don't know how to tell her. She's planning to move in soon. We're planning to get an apartment soon. So I'm pretty sure she's going to see all my medications.
I think you should be honest with her. You have nothing to be ashamed of. If you had high blood pressure, would you be ashamed to tell her you're on medicine for it?
No. No, I guess not.
Yeah, if you were taking heart pills, would you be embarrassed by that? I mean, I don't think you should be embarrassed by that, to be really honest. It's one of those things that they say, like depression and that kind of stuff. I forget the expression, but it's not a flaw in character. It's a flaw in chemistry or something. So it's nothing to do with who you are as a person. It's just one of those things. A lot of times it's a chemical imbalance that you can fix with some medication. I mean, I don't know if it always works, but I don't think you have anything to be embarrassed about. And hiding things is never good, especially since you haven't done anything wrong.
Yeah, that's true. I just don't know how to. I don't know how to actually tell her. I don't want to come out one day and say, hey, look, by the way, I'm taking all these medications, which I haven't really told her about my medical history. I mean, it's something that I've been keeping to myself for a while.
Well, I don't think you should, if you're going to live together, she has the right to know. I don't think, but you just sit her down and go, look, she might go, why didn't you tell me? And you might just tell her you were embarrassed. It wasn't to be deceptive. You were just afraid that she wouldn't like you or whatever. So, I don't see that being, I don't know the girl, but man, I would fucking just tell her, man.
Yeah, you're right. So when are you gonna come down to Florida, like Orlando, Florida?
Again, I probably have some stuff on this next tour. I'm doing Tampa, and thinking it's going to be probably February, March.
Oh, awesome. Okay. Well, nice talking to you, Jim. Appreciate it.
All right. Good luck, Leo. Hey, Jeremy in Nevada. What's up, Jeremy?
Hey, Jim. How's it going?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. Long story short, I'm about 8 months sober. I was addicted to pain pills because of a health thing that caused me to take them. About 2 months ago, my wife had a kid, and I told my wife to lock him in a safe, to be safe. She left a few out. I took one, and immediately after I swallowed it, I immediately hated myself. Okay. I haven't had anything since.
How long ago was that?
That was about 2 months ago.
Okay.
Does that ruin my whole 8 month thing pretty much, and I start over?
What was the pill? I'm sorry, man.
Pain pill.
And you took it to get high? You took a pain pill. You took a drug.
Yes.
Yeah. So yeah. I mean, it's up to you how much integrity you want to have with your time. But I think the benefit you have from just saying, fuck it, I fucked up, and that's my new date, is a lot more than greedily holding on to 6 more months just so you can say it. One is acknowledging the power of, look, I fucked up, and it was only one pill. But the thing to take from that is that you got lucky. Not, hey, I'm okay. So yeah, maybe you didn't go out and ruin your entire life. But I suggest you start over there, you redo your 90 days or whatever, and you tell people about it. I don't think it's something that you should be ashamed of. If you have 11 years, that 6 months is going to mean nothing, dude. And you're always going to know that your date's a little off. You don't get bullshitting with that. It's not a fucking contest. You don't get a fucking a set of steak knives for 6 straight months. You know what I mean? It's just a day at a time. And to be honest, I would suggest just take the new date. You fucked up. You took a pill. You felt like shit. Now you won't do that again. So maybe resetting your date, maybe that saved you from doing it when you had 8 years. Like maybe that fuck up, you got it out of the way, but don't pretend it didn't happen.
No, yeah, and I mean, it's the time, the date is pretty much for myself. I mean, there's only a handful of people that know about this anyways, and it's just been eating me inside. And as soon as I swallowed it, you know, I tried to throw it back up and everything. I was so mad with myself. So at least I know now. I guess this is better than like what you said. So
yeah.
All right. Well, I really appreciate it. You always make me feel a little better about situations. So thank you, Jim.
You're very welcome. Hey,
right.
Matt in Minnesota. Thanks for the call, buddy. What's up, Matt?
I'm in a group of friends. We're pretty close. We've been together. We've been friends for like a decade, and we're really ruthless to each other. Pretty much how you guys banter back. And I keep up pretty well, but it's not how I think. I don't think in shitting each other instead of mine. So about a year ago, I don't know how it came up, but we were talking about the whole Jerry Sandusky thing, and I've just offhandedly defended Joe Paterno in a way, not saying I figured he should be fired, but not have his entire legacy torn apart. And one of these assholes started disinjecting me into rape and molestation jokes, and I didn't know how to react to it at the time, and that made it even more funny for everybody.
Right.
And so it's just kept rolling and rolling and rolling, and I still don't know how to react to that. It just
he was just joking with you. I mean, it wasn't like what is it it's bothering you? Is it you can't keep up and it's bothering you? It's embarrassing you.
That's between us in the group. Yeah, that's a problem. But it also comes up at like dinner if I've got a girlfriend with me and she doesn't know the dynamic and they bring up a joke like that, and it freaks her out.
Oh yeah, you got. First of all, hold on. Even with comedians, if I come in with a new girl or a girlfriend, fucking everyone acts polite. That's the fucking rules. Like, you don't act like a cock blocker to your friend when he's with his girlfriend. Hey, remember that time you stepped in shit? Durr. So you got to tell your friends, like, look, man, we interact this way, but don't do that around my girlfriend. And if they're like, what the fuck? You can't take it? So no, she's not in this world. I don't want it in front of her. I don't want to put that shit in her head. That's just not what I want. They should know better. Because even if I walk into the cellar by myself and Bob and Keith are at the table, I get attacked. But if I walk in with a girl, they say hello and that's it. You know what I mean? It's like, you don't fuck with somebody when he's with his girlfriend. It's just, you just don't do it because none of us want to have to deal with that and then have the girlfriend be uncomfortable. It's just too much. So you should talk to them when you're not with her and say, look, I don't like that in front of her. Or just don't bring her around them and spend less time with them.
Well, what about the one-on-one stuff or in the group stuff?
Tell them how you feel.
How do I diffuse that situation? It's just such a hard joke to deal with.
If you don't like it, you got to tell them, not in that moment, but tell them like separately, like, yeah, man, I don't like it that much. It's child molesting shit bugs me. And, whatever. Because sometimes, even as comedians, man, there's times where Colin has gotten mad at me, or I got mad at Patrice, or I got mad at Bobby got mad at Colin, whatever it is. We've all gotten mad at each other over stuff. So sometimes you got to go like, hey, man, just, I don't like that. And it doesn't mean you're being a faggot or a pussy if you don't, if something makes you uncomfortable. As long as you tell somebody and you don't get self-righteous about it, I think, you tell them like, I don't think you're being overly sensitive if they're constantly pounding you with it. Like, if it's one joke or once in a while, but if every time you're around them, they're pounding you about something, and then they're pounding you in front of your girlfriend, and it's about being a pedophile, it's like, all right, I get why you wouldn't like that.
Yeah, I appreciate it, Jim. Thanks.
Yeah, just mention it. All right, buddy. Liam in Boston. Hi, Liam.
Hey, Jim. How you doing?
Good. How are you?
Good. So I have a family vacation coming up in a few weeks now, and we planned it a few months ago. Didn't really think much of it, but as we're getting closer, I'm just realizing I'm scared to death to fly.
Sure. Have you ever flown?
Oh yeah. I haven't for probably 5 or 6 years. But it's just gotten worse in my head over time. And now that I'm looking at it 2 or 3 weeks to go, I'm starting to freak out.
That's how I used to be. How long of a flight is it?
Just Boston to Orlando, so like 3 hours.
Okay, but you'd be on a big plane. I used to be scared of it too. And I learned by reading about it and reading the safety stats on it, and that really, like, the plane is built to fly. It was a terror that I had for a long time.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you what helped me too. Sometimes when you hear the cockpit recordings, when there's something that goes wrong in the air, they handle it. They are so fucking calm. And most crashes are survivable. Like, you have the Malaysian airliner one, which probably nobody suffered on anyway. And you'll have the occasional disaster, but it's so rare. It's so fucking rare. Look what happened here in New York. Sully lost both his engines and landed it in the river, and no one got hurt. So, realize that statistically it is by far the safest way to travel. Just find yourself, don't fight the plane. Like when you first take off and you feel like, and then you feel like it's dropping a little bit. It's like a minute into takeoff and you feel like it's dropping, like the plane's dropping. What I realized at one point is, hey, dickhead, it's not dropping. It's the cabin pressure changing.
Sure, yeah.
It felt like the engine thrust was stopping, but no, it was just the cabin pressure changing, so I didn't get thrown back in my seat. So
did you ever take anything? Did you ever
No.
take anything to relax, or you went just all natural?
I take Dramamine so I don't vomit. It's a motion sickness pill. But no, I can't take Xanax or any of that shit.
Yeah.
But if you can take a Xanax, try that. A lot of people say that stuff works. As long as you're not a recovering addict or it's not going to trigger anything, then why not? That's probably what that shit's for.
Okay, good advice. Thanks.
Good luck, man.
Thank you.
Okay, what's up, Matthew, with a bigger older brother?
Hey, Jim. I have the youngest of three. I have two older brothers. My oldest brother has never lived outside of our parents' home. He's 33. And then we try to get him jobs. We try to get him to move out of the house. And he constantly sabotages the opportunities. And recently I purchased a home. I have a 6-month-old daughter now. And he refuses to come over, refuses to see my daughter. He just kind of shits on everybody when they're moving on in their lives, and he's at a standstill. So the only thing I can do now is I just feel like not talking to my brother. But, my parents kind of go up and down whether or not to get him out of the house, and they kind of start to tell him to get a job and move out, and then they start to feel sorry for him, and they just let him stay. So I don't really know what to do.
Well, why don't you, look, before you cut off contact, why don't you sit down and have a real conversation with him? You don't have to yell at him or accuse him. Sometimes these things, when someone says, look, man, I feel like this is what's been happening. Am I crazy? And then just see if he gets the message. Sometimes just planting the seed will help, but you can tell him, it bothers me that you won't come to see. He's probably in miserable. And depressed and, afraid. You ought to ask him, I feel like everybody's moving on and you're upset. So, what's going on? Maybe just talk to him about it.
Right. And there's been some kind of conversation between my older brother and myself. He gets extremely defensive, and I just kind of walk away because he does get very angry, and I almost feel like it's going to get to a physical stage with his anger, so I just kind of stop. And that's partly why no one really talks to him about him moving out or moving on with his life.
Well, then you should maybe just not talk to him for a while.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And if he goes, what happened to you? Go, look, dude, every time I try to talk to you about something, you're getting angrier and angrier at me, and I'm not gonna deal with that. You can be angry. Yeah. That's cool. I'm not telling you how to be, but I'm not gonna be around. No, fuck you. Okay, man. Cool. Cool. Yeah. I hear you. That's why I'm not around you. That's it. Sometimes the only thing I can do is remove myself from somebody's presence. Do you know what I mean? That's all it is. You remove yourself from their presence.
Yeah.
That's all you can do. Okay?
Thanks, Jim.
Take care, buddy. What's up, Rick in Pittsburgh? You might have an STD. Oh, no.
Hello?
Hey, buddy. What's going on?
So, my sex drive is all messed up.
What's that, buddy?
My sex drive is all messed up.
Your sex drive is all messed up?
Yeah, I used to be good for 4 times a day, but after twice a day, it's just not happening.
Well, how old are you?
35.
Why do you think you have an STD? Because your libido might be a little lower. Are you with a girlfriend right now?
Yeah.
Okay, so maybe you're just getting more used to her and you're not as turned on?
Possibly, I don't know. It's still a relatively new relationship, though.
You ought to, Is there anything you want sexually that you're not getting? Sometimes with men, man, we think we're always supposed to want to fuck, and we're always supposed to want to get, and then we don't want to, and we think there's something wrong with us, instead of realizing, like, no, man, there's some condition sexually that's not being met, and it's hard for men to ask for that shit, and to say, hey, this is what I need to turn me on, because it feels like not masculine to not always be turned on.
No, this girl's a real good egg. Anything I ask for, I get.
Doesn't matter. I'm not saying it's nothing to do with her. Sometimes there might be something you want that you don't even know you want. Or maybe you're just a little bit bored because you can have everything. Like, who knows, dude? But it doesn't mean that you have an STD because you just feel like you're not as turned on. Maybe you got a bit of depression going on. Maybe you're just tired. Who the fuck knows?
Like the other day, I actually came without being hard while she was sucking me off.
I've done that too. And that's probably your body's way of saying that you're acting out for the wrong reason. Like, you know what I mean? I've done that too, where a girl's blowing me and my dick is like a noodle. So I think your body's telling you something. You might not be as in the mood for sex as you always think you are. So it's okay to not always be in the mood for sex. Don't convince yourself you are when you're not. I gotta go, buddy. I have to wrap up, okay?
Okay. Thanks.
But take care. I don't think that means STD. And I apologize to the people who are still on the phone. I will see you next week. I'm going over to do Anthony's show now. So if you're a subscriber, you're going to hear the hilarity will ensue. Thanks, guys.
Thanks for listening to the Jim Norton Show. Hear all that advice whenever you want to on demand at SiriusXM.com/on demand. On SiriusXM is real.